What's up, y'all? My name is Lando Senju, and today I'm here with PUTINWORKTV. Let's get it.
Lando, welcome to Put in Work TV. We've enjoyed watching your journey and growth as an artist in the New England music scene and really want to hear more about your story. Our focus is allowing our guests to tell their stories front and center without judgment or opinion. So let's dive in. How did it all begin?
So it all started when I was 14 years old. I was in 8th grade. Me and my friends had discovered GarageBand, and with that, we started using Apple loops to put together little beats. So we wanted to make this Star Wars themed EP, whatever. We stopped being friends. Long story short, when we made up the summer after, I recorded my first song in that homie's attic, and it was called Spirit Gun. It's not on SoundCloud no more, but yeah, ever since then I took on the name Lando because it was one of the track names from the Star Wars EP. I figured it was just smooth enough. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, cool. So, have you always been into music and music being a part of your life, or was it something purely when you were 14?
Nah, I grew up around my family bumping music all the time. I mean, we Dominican, we pure-blooded Dominican, you feel me? You know how we get down. My brother was always bumping some different type of shit, though. He was bumping Panic at the Disco and, My Chemical Romance, while also, being a true rap fan. So, I grew up around a large amount of influences. A lot of video game music, too, anime. Anyway, he put me on the track to writing bars when I was 4 years old. That's when I wrote my first bars. It went something my big brother told me I should learn how to rhyme, but my favorite transformer is Optimus Prime. When I pull up to church, I'm always looking real fine. Yeah, it was hilarious. But, yeah, he always encouraged me to write bars, you know what I'm saying, freestyle, all that. So, I guess all that influence got to my head when I was 14, and I had ready access to a studio via my school. You know, I just got to make tracks whenever I wanted. So, eventually, over the course of a year, I started to realize I really love music. This is mad fun. This is something that's me, and that no one can really be better than me at because I'm being myself. You feel me? I'm 5'5", bro. I was never nice on them sports teams. I'm trash at basketball. Only thing I was good at is track and field. Because you know why? All you gotta do is run. Run in a straight line. So, yeah, music was really it for me. I felt like I found my passion.
So, where did you grow up?
Boston, born and raised. You know what I'm saying? First time I went to a city other than Boston was probably when I was 12. I went to New York for a day. But the real first experience was going to Houston about 2 months ago. Crazy. Whole different world.
Got you. So what part of Boston did you grow up in, and what was it like growing up in Boston?
I grew up in Rossi, still live there. Growing up in Boston, I kind of had a unique experience because I went to public school until I was in 5th grade. When I was in 5th grade, I transferred to Roxbury Prep. It's what do you call it? A charter school. And ever since after that, the year after that, I've been going to private schools. So I never really got that in touch with Boston until, ironically, the past 2 years.
Why that's dope. So, obviously, you said your first project was a Star Wars, theme project when you were 14. I would say the project after that and the following projects, how did you go about creating your music?
So my first little EP under the name Lando, I just wanted to set a summer vibe, you feel me? I just wanted to capture the different sounds that I could do. I had an R&B track. I had a track that I just straight up freestyled in one take, just different shit. My more complex projects came later on, way later on, my mixtape Shit Happens, which I dropped in January. I basically based that around just one of the worst times in my life, which was the few probably 4 months before that, and I just had a whole lot of stress on my back, you know what I'm saying, a whole lot of shit on my plate, and it was a really transformative experience that I wanted to capture through my music, all the raw emotion, all the different ups and downs of it. For my most recent EP, which is called On the Way, I dropped that about 2 weeks ago. I just wanted to put out some filler shit, some hard shit for my supporters to enjoy. You know what I'm saying? While I work on this bigger project called Dead Man, and that project's gonna be dope. Basically, just to sum it up real quick, you know what I'm saying? It's about facing your fate and taking control of it.
So, what were you going through when you dropped your first project? Well, not your first project. The one that was recently from January.
Well, I was going through shit with my family. I also like broke up with a girl I was dating for years. I felt like as I was going up, like through my music, as I was starting to get some traction, like everything else in my personal life was starting to go down. On top of that, I had like a shit ton of work for senior year and also applying to colleges that I just wasn't in the mindset to do. Like I just didn't do shit. I would go home and like play video games or like make music. So it was just a whole lot of bad decisions that led up to me having to, you know what I'm saying, face the consequences of them.
Yeah. Okay, so real quick, give me your top 3 video games, top 3 animes right now.
Alright, top 3 video games. Jet Set Radio Future, Kingdom Hearts 2, third, Bloodborne. Anime, Yu Yu Hakusho, Soul Eater, I want to say Jujutsu Kaisen.
I respect it. Alright, so in your process of making music and just in life too, what motivates you the most?
I've come to realize that what motivates me the most is self-growth. I want to see myself improve. I want to see myself get better. And most of all, I want to see myself carry an energy that I can influence people with, that I could leave good vibes, good energy, good messages behind with. You know, I feel like for so much of my life, I was just bad at socializing with people. And I was depressed for a good amount of like my adolescence. So I was just a dickhead. You know, I never learned how to be good to people. But I want to put out what I want to get back now, you know? I just want to put out good energy into the world because there's never enough of it.
And so overall with your music career, like, what do you want to do? Like, what's the highest heights you're trying to reach? What accolades do you want underneath your belt?
Accolades? I mean, obviously everyone wants a lot of plays. Everyone wants, like, recognition and shit like that. But I honestly I want to be able to make great art with people that I respect highly, you know? I want to be able to, like, work with my favorite artists just on a dime, just like that, and make some dope shit. And on a deeper level, you know what I'm saying? My real goal is I just want to influence as many people as I possibly can. Specifically, I want to teach people not to make the mistakes that I make. Teach people to take control of their fate, take control of their life, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like a lot of people feel like they're stuck in some type of, I don't know, algorithm, some shit they can't get out of. But, I don't know. It's really all in your hands. And not a lot of people realize that.
So when did you realize that it was all in your hands and that fate was such an important thing?
This year. Definitely this past year. I feel like I'm so exponentially ahead of where I was a year ago compared to the year before that. You feel me? Like, I feel myself growing into myself. And I feel like every day I'm getting stronger. Every day I'm getting better.
So with your music, what is your process like? Like how do you, are you a writer? Are you a freestyler? You know what I'm saying? And when you do write, like, is it just like you got a spark of motivation? Like, what is that process, the whole thing?
I would say I'm definitely more of a writer than a freestyler, but sometimes I drill myself to just freestyle on the spot so I can get better at that shit. When I write, I don't typically do well just sitting down and being like, okay, I have to write a 16 bar. Like, I feel like I'm always in my head during the day, so I'll just come up with a random bar, and I'll be like, oh wait, I gotta snag that, you know what I'm saying, write it down real quick, and then all of a sudden, like, I'm flooding the note document with just mad bars, you know what I'm saying, a whole song. Or sometimes I just hear a beat, and I make a whole song right there on command, you know what I'm saying. It just depends on how I mesh with the beat, or what I'm thinking, like, I don't know. It really comes and goes, but I try to push myself to always be able to do some shit on command so I don't ever get complacent.
I want you to tell me more about how you got into hyperpop and the hyperpop scene in general for people who don't know what it is.
Alright, so for people who don't know what it is, I don't really know if I could describe hyperpop because the more I come to understand it, the more I realize that it's not really a genre. It's just like a term people use. People typically refer to hyperpop as shit that's high speed, you know what I'm saying, really in your face, aggressive, distorted. But I don't know. I was never a hyperpop listener. When I got into the hyperpop scene, it was because I had just started using TikTok last summer. I like was just really just chasing whatever would get me views. And one day someone hit me up. His name was Kill Dilly. Shout out him. He was like, "Yo, like I'm trying to work with you." I'm like, "What type of shit do you make?" He's like, "I make hyperpop and blah blah blah." I'm like, "Oh, hyperpop. Like I don't know. I never made it, but I'll try it." You know what I'm saying? I tried it. It was, you know what I'm saying, it was hard. The song went really well. Like it performed way better than anything else that I ever made. So I was like, alright, this is fun. It's a new sound. I'm gonna keep doing it. And you know what I'm saying, I dropped a few more songs, got a lot more recognition off of that. Ever since then I just started going in my own direction. I feel like starting to do hyperpop really advanced my artistic growth and who I was as an artist. Like I feel like I was always approaching writing songs to, I mean, as like, who am I gonna copy? Who am I gonna try to like take their flow and then like move it a little bit so it's more like me? But now I know how to just be me.
That's dope. That's dope. So how did the music alter your life?
Music gave me a life. I feel like before I was making music outside of school and like extracurriculars attached to that, I was really just sitting in my room playing games. You know, just playing games with my friends, and like there's nothing wrong with that, I guess. But it was all I was doing. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have anything of my own that I could say, oh, this makes me me. So, yeah. So once I started to create music, like I feel like I was never much of a social person, so I started to kind of recede into myself and just make music. You know what I'm saying? And eventually it became just most of what I do. Like when I'm bored, I make a song. If I'm like feeling some type of way, I make a song about it. If I want to just make a song because I like listening to my own music, I'm gonna make a song. I don't know. It's the main thing that I do: produce, write, record, promote. All my friends make music now. Yeah.
Actually, going back a little bit towards the hyperpop, like tell me about your online community that helps you create music, because I know like you have a Discord or like you're in a Discord, and talk to me about that.
So I think I really entered this community when I met Overpaid. That's the homie. I was seeing him on my For You page on TikTok all the time, and I'm like, alright, this kid's like the same size as me, as like my audience. He's pretty dope. I'm just gonna work with him. He said he was doing free features, so I hit him up. We made this song called Modern Warfare, blah blah blah. I joined his Discord because he invited me, and I was never a Discord user, but like it was a good vibe. People were funny. I had a lot of interest in common with them, which I felt like was kind of rare throughout my life, like in person. So I just started talking to them a lot more, and I met a lot of people through that Discord. As I gained more recognition within that scene, more people started like hitting me up, and I started meeting a lot more people. And long story short, I have this community that I have today that like I wouldn't give up for the world. So many dope, talented, different artists who are really like authentic. Yeah. And also I can't forget to mention my Discord server. That's where I have most of my like core supporters. And it's dope, you know what I'm saying? It's like just a friendly environment, always positive. Everyone there makes music. Everyone there like plays games, watches anime, and we just be coolin', bro. Like I don't even let people make that shit toxic, because I don't want them to take away from the environment that I fostered, where everyone's supposed to be welcome. You feel me?
Do you have your own game servers?
I have a couple of my own servers because I like to host events for the Discord, so I like to play games with them and shit like that. I got a Minecraft server that I'm renting for them. We also got like Roblox servers. I want to get way cooler things. I'm about to get a PC like literally in 2 days, so I'm gonna be able to do way doper shit. I'm also gonna start streaming. That's gonna be so fun.
Say that. I love that shit. I really love that shit. Hold on real quick. Let's see. So, talk to me how you feel about the New England music scene, because we just talked about, you know, the interwebs, how you found people on TikTok and like Discord and whatnot. But like here in America, in New England, how do you feel about the artists around you?
I was never really tapped in with the artists in the New England scene before like 2020, 2021. I just like I didn't know how to get into the Boston scene. I figured it was just like a bunch of people doing drill, but I started working at Teen Empowerment. I met a lot of dope folks there, and then you know what I'm saying, I just socialized, met way more people, networked, all that, and I have to say the Boston scene is it's it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people underrate Boston. They're like, oh, nobody makes music there. Oh, nobody from Boston's gonna blow up. Nobody from Boston, like, we don't have anyone we could claim. But there's so many fire people if you just support them and boost them up to a level where they are like something you can identify with Boston. You know what I'm saying? Like, people in Boston so afraid to show support, but the more I dig, the more dope artists I find. People really on their grind making dope, authentic shit. Like the homie Tomo, like Nate Nix, like my nigga K Feta, like my nigga Take Liz, like I don't know. People are real out here. That's something about Boston. Everywhere we go, bro, you know that we from Boston because of the way we move, the way we talk. We're straight up. You know what I'm saying? We don't lie, we don't cap, we don't waste time. So I feel like that translates to the music. People are just so authentic, so themselves, and that's something that the music industry is lacking. So Boston's time better come soon. That's all I'm saying.
And, what are some things you wish you knew before you started?
Making music?
Yeah.
I wish I knew not to worry about stats. You know, I wish I didn't let that shit discourage me. When I would like post a story on Snapchat, like, yo, come check me out, I just dropped this this song. No one would tap in, you feel me? Like 100 people would see it, like 5 people would like it. And that was kind of soul crushing because I didn't really get it back then. Like, people they don't want to support someone who's on the grind. They don't want to support someone who got low numbers. They want to support someone who's popular, who is like popular to support. So a lot of people just will brush you off the bat. Oh, you're a SoundCloud rapper. You're a BandLab rapper. That's what they be saying now. Yeah, I wish I wasn't so worried about that. I wish I also knew that your homies who are your homies in like real life are always going to support you for your music. That's something I had to learn like the hard way. And for a while it kind of like it pissed me off. I don't really care no more because I don't know. They don't get it. They don't get how important it is. They don't get how much it means when you drop a like or a repost or all that. So it is what it is. They'll never understand what it feels like until they go through it.
Okay. Real quick, break down to the folks. What's a BandLab rapper? What's BandLab?
BandLab, it's this app that you can get on your phone where you can record music. You could have like presets and all that shit. It's like a mini like GarageBand or FL Studio. And a lot of niggas, it's so accessible, you know what I'm saying? Anybody can download that at any time. So there's so many BandLab rappers, you know what I'm saying? Everybody want to rap now. Rapping is so popular. But you especially see it on TikTok. Like, you could get lost in the trenches of just BandLab rapper after BandLab rapper just stealing flow. Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, I'm not going to judge people for the medium they make art on. I'm going to judge them for their art. So there's definitely, I've heard dope people making cool shit on BandLab. I'm not going to judge them for that, bro. If anything, bro, I've hit them up. I'm like, yo, like, let me mix your shit. You're recording on your phone. Let me mix it instead of you mixing it on your phone. You know what I'm saying? I got more experience, but I don't know. People don't want to listen. People don't trust me. Even though I'm fine.
Say that. So, what would you say is the thing you enjoyed the most?
I might sound like, you know what I'm saying, a broken record, but just the growth in myself. I feel like I used to be nothing. Maybe I'm underrating myself, but I just didn't have much character to me, much to me in general. But through the music, I've really found myself. I've found my great qualities, my bad qualities, and how to deal with the balance between them. And I don't know. When I look back on the past 4 years, it's kind of crazy who I was versus who I became and who I think I'm going to be. Yeah.
I think, like, it's a great segue into where do you see yourself in 5 years in the future in general?
In 5 years, I know I'm going to be up. Right now is just my training arc. The whole past few years has been my training arc, and you know what I'm saying? I got my little power-ups here and there, but eventually I'm going to get that Zenkai boost, you know what I'm saying? I'm going Super Saiyan. So I'm just waiting for my time to come, and in the meantime, I'm honing my craft, getting better and better, making more connections, you know what I'm saying? And diversifying the time that I spend doing shit, you know what I'm saying? That's why I want to start streaming. I want to start selling beats. I don't want to just rap. I don't want to be a one-trick pony. You know what I'm saying? I want to be multi-talented. That's what Senju means. Lando Senju. Senju means 1,000 talents in Japanese. 1,000 hands, you know what I'm saying? Versatile with it. So, I'm trying to live up to that.
Fire. So what would you say, we talked about all this, what is the most substantial moment in your career?
Okay, so sometimes I ask myself that, and sometimes I think of the more like number-based shit, like, oh, this amount of streams, or oh, like this person shouted me out, or blah blah blah. But for some reason, the only thing that comes to mind right now is the night that I dropped "Wake Up Lando," which is my biggest song. I was sitting in voice chat in my Discord with like maybe like 10 people, 10 of my supporters, who we were all just sitting there waiting for the song to drop so we could all just listen through. And I was just thinking like, damn, these people are here for me. Like, I'm not begging them to listen to my music. Like, I gotta beg some of my homies to just drop a like. These people are here because they rock with me. They rock with the vision. They rock with the art. So it just felt incredible, you know what I'm saying? After all this time feeling like one of the only people who gave a fuck about my music, there they were. There was like a room full of people's worth of people just sitting there waiting with me. It was crazy. It was a crazy feeling. And I got that feeling again when I had the listening party for my mixtape. It's just crazy.
What has been the hardest part of your journey as an artist?
Something that I grappled with really hard for a large amount of my career was just people's opinions, letting them get to me, honestly. It's easy to say I don't give a fuck about the opinions, or I don't care what the haters say, but, like, you know what I'm saying? When you see it over and over again, it just grates you down, it wears you down. Like, when I first started making TikToks and I first started, like, some of them started to blow up, there was a whole lot of people, like, I was making hyperpop. That's not a sound that, like, I don't want to say regular people, like the average listener listens to. So people are like, yo, this is trash, this is horrible, yo, this sounds like, I don't know, like monkeys ate a computer, like, I don't know. And it was funny. Now I find it really funny, and I used to find it funny sometimes, but mostly it would just piss me off because I try to ignore it, but then 5 more comments just like it would pop up in its place. And it's TikTok, people don't care on there. People are just like extra brutal on there. So yeah, it used to hurt me a lot, but eventually I realized that a lot of people just hate because they have nothing better to do with their lives. They hate because they see you doing something. They hate because whatever. It doesn't really matter. I'm in my zone. It's my world. It's my music, and I'm going to promote it because it's my shit. No one can take that from me. That's something I hate, people taking my freedom from me in any way. So I'm never going to let that happen again.
What would be your advice to someone who was looking to get started making music and like really reach where you are?
Make connections. Don't be afraid to make connections. Don't be too egotistical to make connections. Work with people. It doesn't matter if they're good or bad, at least at first. I mean, you could obviously, it's your discretion, but I think one of the most important things about being an artist is consuming art, especially that of others who are just regular people, you know what I'm saying, not super experienced. You could grow from each other. You could, like, both in as artists and in terms of scope, like your followers and all that. Be authentic. Don't try and ride a wave. Don't start rapping if you just want to be famous. Don't start rapping if you just want money, because you're gonna burn out. You're gonna burn out a million times, and you're gonna give up, and you're gonna have wasted all your time, and you're gonna have made not very much of a contribution to the world, because it's just generic shit that you made for money. You know what I'm saying? Do it because you love it. And if you don't love music, then do what you love. Don't make music if you don't want to. Like, if that's not what you want in your heart. Just keeping it real. It's a hard journey that you don't want to sign up for if you're not ready for it.
Do you have any last messages for the audiences that are watching, people in general?
It costs nothing to show love. You know what I'm saying? It don't cost money to be kind to someone. It don't matter if it's a small deed or a big deed. Especially show love to any local rappers that you know. Unless they're a dickhead, then don't do that. Thank you, PUTINWORKTV, for having me. I'm Lando Senju, and this has been a dope time. Have a great day.